Okay. All right. Hopefully everybody can hear me. Okay, so thank you guys for joining. And so those who are joining me live, I'm also recording this as a video so that I can also refer to it and give it out to members of my community. So what we're going to be talking about today are 5 steps to creating a marketing plan and how that's going to help you with your promotions, your offers, your sales, any type of marketing event that you're doing. That's what these 5 steps are going to help you. And so what I wanted to do is I wanted to start with like who this may be for and who's struggling, if you're struggling, if this makes sense to you. So if you have tried to do an offer before, you've offered a sale, you've done an event, you've done something in the past as it relates to let's say you got an online service or a promotion or a sale, or you want to do an in-house event, or you want to host an event and you want to make money doing it. This marketing plan is really going to be for you to talk through how to do that. So I'm going to show you how to do that. This is a good training for you if you have trouble with organizing a promotion, a sale, or event. You've tried to in the past and you just can't figure out all the things that you need to do, and something you drop the ball on something. This is actually something that you're going to find beneficial too. And you actually have in the past struggled with promoting your sale, event, or promotion. You've done it in the past, but you didn't communicate it out to the right people, and you had low attendance or zero attendance or not the attendance that you were hoping to get. This actually would be a great training for you. And so if you're in business and you want to make a profit with your offers, your promotions, or your events, or any marketing campaign for that matter, then I really think that this is a course that you'll enjoy, or a workshop that you'll enjoy. If you enjoy step-by-step processes, you want to be organized, and organization doesn't scare you, you don't hate the word organization or process or steps, then you're in the right space. And you're also a business owner who wants to allocate time and budget to promoting and hosting an event, a sale, or a offer in your business. Now, this is not for you if you hate the word process or you hate steps to doing things and you like to just wing things, and this is you like to live by the seat of your pants. You probably want to drop off of this training because this is not going to be the right training for you. This is really about organizing yourself before you actually decide to launch an event or a promotion or an offer. If you like the thrill of winging it and you don't really want to set any goals, you don't want any steps, you probably just want to drop off right now. If you do not want to invest time in your marketing events, activities, or money into those marketing activities, this is not the right class for you either, because it requires time and it does require money for you to actually host an effective promotion or sale or an event. So just want to make sure that you're in the right space. If those are things that you are experiencing in terms of the struggles, or if these things don't sound attractive to you. So just want to make sure that you're hanging on for the right type of training. All right, so the big question is why do you even need a marketing plan? And frankly, there's only a couple of reasons why. It's to help organize yourself. It's help you to plan and communicate your offer, promotion, or event to the right people and to actually execute, right? So it's one thing to say, I have an idea, or I'd like to do, fill in the blank, whatever, and not actually have a plan of how you're going to do it, goals on how of what you want to achieve. All of that is critical for you to have success. So organizing, plan, communicating, and doing is the reason why to have a marketing plan. A marketing plan is going to allow you to do all of those things. And so I'm going to give you a couple of examples for you to think about. These have happened in the course of me doing business with my clients or me personally in terms of me organizing my events. So I want to give you some context here. So, you know, I've had grand openings for my businesses. I've talked to many clients, and one client stands out. Before she became a client, she was a prospective client. She was getting ready to open up a salon, and she was talking about, she was like, oh, I think I want to have a grand opening. And she had no plan. She just said, I'm going to do a grand opening. And she had nobody attend, right? And so why do you think that is? It's most likely because she didn't communicate what a grand opening was. She didn't talk to anyone about the grand opening. She didn't really organize it, plan it out, put any real thought into what it was that she was trying to do. It was more or less an idea in her head without a good execution plan. I put this example for happy hour because many years ago, when I was much younger, maybe about 10 or 15 years ago, I used to host a local happy hour. This is before I was single and had children, and I would host a happy hour every month, and it would be like amongst my friends. And you know, I'm big into social drinking and socializing or whatever, and I would just randomly pick a location for these happy hours all across the Metroplex in the DFW area. And I wouldn't even think about and my goal was to have like lots of people at these happy hours. Like I wanted to have a great turnout because I was all about fun, meeting new people, and I wanted to have just the best thing. I really didn't have a goal. I just wanted to get as many people as I could have, and I wanted to like just have a great time, right? But what I often found is when I had these happy hours, it was horrible service. I'd have great turnout because this was even before Facebook was, believe it or not, before Facebook, and you could communicate socially. I had a communication chain with my friends and friends of friends and friends of friends and texting, and then I had an email list, and I talked to everybody and their mother about the event, and so I had great turnout at my events, but the service at the event was really piss poor. Meaning like I'd get like, 30 or 40, single people in a location ready to spend money on drinks and hors d'oeuvres, but the service was poor. And so you may ask yourself, well, why is that? So I communicated it. So I had great turnout. I met my numbers, but the event in and of itself was not well executed because the service was often really poor. And that was because I never organized with the location the fact that I was bringing 20 or 30 people to the happy hour and they didn't staff appropriately. So we didn't have specials, we didn't have the right amount of staffing, and the service was horrible because I didn't plan out the logistics of the event. So again, when you're planning out your promotion, your offer, or your event, it's really important that you take a look at all of the facets of it, not just the fact that you communicate to the right people or that you have, you communicate to the right people, you plan the event, you make sure everybody knows about it, you've got all the right things in place, but if you don't plan the logistics, that's going to result in a bad turnout as well, or experience for the actual day of the event. So what I want to do is then also, when we go through these 5 steps, is I want to give you the results of what a well-planned event looks like, what the results of those look like, and what is typical of a client of mine who's actually gone through a planning session with me and executed according to plan, what the results that you could expect to get once you actually sit down and you think through all that it's going to take to actually have your promotion event or sale and communicate it properly. Okay. So if you have any questions about any of these steps, I'm going to reserve that at the end. So you can either put them in the Zoom or you can post them in the live, but I'll leave some time at the end for questions. Okay, so what I want to really talk to you about is what are the 5 steps and what the process is. I'm a pretty simple gal when it comes to processes. I am a process-driven person, But I don't think it has to be ad nauseum, meaning it needs to be 15 steps, and there's 15 steps with 15 sub-steps associated with them. I really like to keep things very simple so that people can remember exactly what it is that they need to do when they need to do it for themselves. So this is really 4 steps. And there is a couple of, like, one extra step that I've included, but from a diagram perspective, really the first thing is that you really just need to understand what is it that you want to do? What is the offer, the promotion, the event? What is the idea that you want to do? So select an event type, an idea, a theme, whatever that may be. And it doesn't have to be complicated. It can be as simple as a happy hour, right? To raise awareness about your business. Or it could be a training event like this, right? It doesn't have to be, hey, Lolita, thanks for joining. It doesn't have to be something that's complicated. It just needs to be an idea. So select an event, select an idea, and then from there, we're going to go to defining the particulars about the event or idea. And so step 2 is really about defining what is it that you want to accomplish? What are your goals? And what are the benefits that a person who is going to participate in your event or your promotion going to receive? It's really important that you define what the benefits are, right? Because that's how you're going to communicate with people that you are going to invite to your event or you want to participate in your offer. People are really about what is in it for them, right? Why do they want to participate? What do they want? What do you want them to get out of it? And so understanding what your goal is and what your receivers' benefits are is really critical. So in step 2, in the definition, so step 2 and step 3 are really about defining what is it that you need, why are you doing it, and why would somebody participate? Those are the things that you want to do in the definition phase. And then in step 4, you really want to just kind of put together your plan, right? Again, it doesn't have to be ad nauseum. It doesn't have to be, 50 steps of, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. But you really want to think about what all is it going to take. So I'm going to use an event. I'm going to use my great turnout happy hours with horrible logistics as an example, right? So for the happy hours that I used to host, from a planning perspective, I just needed to pick a date. I needed to pick a location, and I needed to identify my people, right? So the plan was pretty simple. But the other thing that I forgot in my plan is I needed to communicate to the event location what I wanted to do. Yes, Lolita, no 50-step processes. And so for people who know me personally, they may think that I may give you a 50-step process because I am so very detail oriented, but I promise you no 50 steps here. It's really 5 steps, define, plan, launch, and select, right? So in my happy hour days, it was really, I needed to, select the date, I needed to select the location and communicate the location, not only to the people I wanted to attend, but also communicate to the place I was hosting or I had picked for my particular event. And then if I was, and then I needed to communicate. So it was a pretty simple plan, right? And most of the time when you have an event or promotion, it's pretty simple, right? You have this offer, you want to make it available either at a particular price point or depending on what the goal is of your offer, you want to, let's say for a monetary type of thing, you have an event, it's going to cost an offer, it's going to cost XYZ. What are the components? So you need to define what the components of that offer is going to be. What do you need to do in order to make the offer a reality to the people who are going to participate? So from a service perspective, do you need to create a sales page? Do you need to create content? Do you need to get graphics? What are all of the things that you're going to need in order to make that offer a reality? So really in the definition, it's really about you sitting down either with a blank piece of paper or an example of something that you've done in the past or an example of somebody else who's done this in the past, and make sure that you understand all that is required for you to get it done. Now, the next step is about planning, which we've talked a little bit about, but it's really about sequencing, right? When do you need to have what done by when? Who needs to be involved? What type of people and things do you need to get it done? And then number 5, launching and summarizing your plans and tracks is really about just getting it done, right? So you know what you need, you know who you need and what you need, you know when it needs to get done, and then you just got to get it done. That's pretty simple, right? So again, not 50 steps, doesn't have to be complicated. It could be as complicated as you want it to be, but the process is pretty simple. It's really about getting it on paper and really thinking through all of those steps. So here's a little bit more information about each of the steps. And so I'm going to go through them. If you're following me on Zoom, you're actually seeing the steps, and I'm going to blow them out just a little bit. If you're on live with me, I'll make this video of the steps available to you so you can see it, because I actually have an offer for you at the end that you can actually get a marketing planner for free. All right, so step 1, when it comes to business marketing, events and offers and promotions, you really have 3 goals that you want to accomplish when you think about your idea, right? Is it to get engagement, right? That's one goal. Do you want to build awareness about your brand or your business, or do you want to increase sales, right? So when you think about your goal and your idea, what is it that you're trying to achieve as a business owner? That's what I really want you to think about. Is it to build awareness, right? So get the name of your business out there so that people know who you are. Is it to get engagement, right? Is it intended for you and your audience to for you to do back and forth, right? So photo contests, surveys, that kind of promotional type of activity, those are intended to get engagement. And I talked a little bit about that last week in my live about why do you need to have marketing goals. So if you don't know what a marketing goal is and you need a little bit more, you may want to visit that live that I did last week. That is in the videos here, but it's really about those 3 things, right? Getting engagement, getting awareness, or increasing sales. So once you know what those goals are, you want to identify what the purpose of your promotion, event, or sale is for, right? And then again, you want to understand for each of those types of goals, what type of benefit is your customer going to receive by taking advantage of this particular offer, promotion, or event, right? What are they going to get out of it? What is in it for them? Be very specific here, right? Bullet it out. Make sure that you're really clear about why they should participate, what's important to them, and the reasons why that they would find value in that. Relate it to what pain point that they have. Meaning, just like I did at the beginning of this, right? I identified who should participate, why you would find value in this, because you want to accomplish XYZ, then you want to stay on this training. You want to do that with your offers and your promotions as well, and your events, is you want to really be clear about why someone would want to attend or participate in your activity. It's very important that you identify this now before you start planning, because if you can't come up with benefits, then it's highly unlikely that you're going to be able to communicate those benefits or communicate the powerful why message for people wanting to attend, because people's time is valuable, right? Their money is valuable, their time is valuable, their attention span is valuable. So you want to give them a reason why they want to be involved, right? Involved in whatever it is that you have to offer, right? And you have a compelling benefit. You just probably need to sit down and think about what that is. Okay, so that takes us through step 2, right? So you've selected an idea, you know what the goal is, you understand what the benefit is, and you've articulated that on paper with some bullet points so that you can start to really understand and start get jazzed up in the way that you want your clients or prospective clients to get jazzed up. All right, so step 3 is all about what are you going to need, right? So what are the graphics that you're going to need? What is the content? If it's an event, what kind of supplies, what kind of people, all of that. I mean, I love planning. Like, I'm not gonna lie, this is like my thing. Like, I love planning events, like live events. I love just the whole mechanics and logistical planning of them, right? Like food, drinks, everything, like the place, down to the color of the tablecloths, all that, right? So if you need an in-house event planner, like I love to sit down and do that kind of stuff. But anyway, I digress. It's really about, this is what do you need, right? What do you need from a supply perspective? for online business owners, it's really, Lolita, you've been to one of my events, so you know how much I love the whole process. But this is really about all of the little things that you forget about. And so I'm going to give you an example of one of the things from an online business that many people don't think about. They don't think about their images. They don't think about their copy. They don't think about what words they need to say on their ad. They don't think about the images that they need to have on their ad. They don't think about the images that they need to have on their sales page, on their printed material, if that's what they're going to have for the actual event. Most people don't even think about having printed material if they're hosting a live event, right? What will people actually touch when they're at the event? That's important, right? So another thing that people forget about when they're thinking about what do you need, they don't think about who they need to help them execute the event. So for example, like if you are, if your thing is, my thing is marketing, my thing is advertising, right? But I'm not really good at the on-paper words, so I hire a copywriter, right? I don't want to spend my time trying to articulate in the language that I need. I also don't like to spend my time messing with sales pages because I get too involved in the intricacies of creating the sales page. So I end up wasting hours upon hours when I could just outsource that out. So the people that are required to help you deliver your promotion, event, or offer, understand who are the people that could help you make it go quicker and make it be less work for you is also very important to think about. So not only the things, but the people, the supplies, so the tangible and the intangible things are important. And for heaven's sakes, don't forget to think about the logistics, right? So logistics is really the physical space, right? If you're doing a live event, it would be the place and the location. If you're doing a virtual event, it would be Zoom, it would be Facebook Lives, it would be logistically, how are you going to host and communicate your message, right? So for example, I am running this on a Zoom account. For those people who actually want to see the content, I'm doing it live. Those are logistics, right? So how are you going to actually, on the day of the event, who is needed in order for you to deliver the actual event? So don't ever forget about the actual event in terms of people, things, and who, what, and where. Okay, so that's what do you need on for your event. That's step 3. Okay, write it down. I cannot stress that amount enough, that you want to write down all the things that you possibly could need, because by virtue of writing it down or typing it out, it actually gets your brain churning about, oh my God, I forgot about this. Oh, I forgot about that, right? And it may become a very comprehensive list that is too much and overwhelming for you, but then that's where you start to put names by it in terms of who can help you, right? Or do you need to actually do that particular task yourself, okay? So I'm also gonna remind you, when you think about what do you need, you want to also think about how much money you want to spend, right? So what's your budget going to be? So don't forget about the money, right? So what is it going to take from a money perspective for you to actually implement this? How much money do you want to spend to communicate from a advertising perspective, printed material perspective, outsourcing, doing it yourself? Sometimes it may be cheaper to do it yourself than to do it, but in terms of your time, is it really cheaper, right? So what do you need also includes money. How much is it going to cost you to actually get your event, your promotion, and your offer done? And I don't want you guys to be kidded about the fact that because you don't do a live physical event, that there's no money involved in it, because there is. Just as in the example that I've given you, right? It costs money to advertise your event. And if you're doing events or you're offering promotions and you're not spending any money, your reach is going to be limited unless you already have a huge email list, right? Or you already have a huge following. If you're in the middle of growing that following or growing that list, then you need to invest some dollars and you need to earmark some dollars on communicating your event out beyond just email if you have a small email list. If you, so another cost that we talked about that you need to consider is if you decide to outsource graphics, if you decide to outsource copy, right? If you decide to print any material, if you're having an actual physical event, right? So I want you to think about those things in terms of cost, because just because you host or you try to minimize your costs, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to get the results that you want if you try to do everything with $0 investment. Now, there are some things that you can do to help get the word of your business, your event out there that don't cost you any money. But again, that's going to minimize your reach, particularly if you're new in the game, right? If you're new in business and people are not already familiar, you don't have a large following already, you then need to think about allocating some funds. Okay. So that's step 3. Step 4 is all about communication and the different types of communication channels that exist when you have an event, right? An event, or you have an offer, or you have a promotion that you want to run. So there are 3 categories of channels. And so it really does depend on what you're doing. If you're doing a physical event and you have a physical, say you are you have a physical building and you actually provide services in person, then you would have this 3rd category, which is doing in-store or in-house graphics. But if you are in the virtual world and you don't have a physical location and your business is a virtual, you do things remotely or you do everything online, then having a digital channel and having marketing materials that are of digital nature are important to do. Absolutely, Lolita. You have to be able to, you have to know that you have to spend money in order to be effective, because you can't be an expert in everything. You hit that nail on the head for sure. So here's some examples of digital channel. I'm sure you all are all aware of them, but what I want you to think about is that all of these channels can be utilized. There's some free component to all of these channels and there's a paid component to all these channels. I'm going to review a couple of them, but your business website obviously is a channel. If you don't have a business website, you really need to consider getting one, even if it is just a 1-pager. And all that you're doing on that business page is just promoting your 1-page, information about your current offer and or special, right? Your business page, and as long as it is got good SEO data and you have strategies in place to get traffic to your business website, that can be a free way to get traffic. But everything that you should do from a digital perspective should lead you to a site, right? Either a web page or a microsite in terms of getting information about that particular promotion or offer. Email marketing, Facebook, Twitter, Google+, Pinterest, LinkedIn, Yelp, Google Maps, Instagram, YouTube blog, online advertising specials, online booking specials. If you use booking mediums, particularly if you're in the beauty industry, which is a lot of who I work with, there's all sorts of beauty applications that will do some advertising for you that you can communicate your specials. For example, Groupon is another medium, but any sort of digital channel is a way that you can communicate your special offer. You really want to make sure that you take a look at what your investment is going to be in those channels if you decide to go a paid route. And if you do, you want to make sure that you are going to have room for being able to realize a profit off of any of the digital channels that you do. I am an expert in Facebook advertising. And so from my perspective, in terms of the most economical digital channels from a paid perspective that I believe exist right now in the market are Facebook ads, Instagram ads, which are also done through Facebook, LinkedIn ads, those really represent the best type of paid advertising strategies that you can do compared to traditional advertising mechanisms that people had before, like through TV, radio, or that type of thing. In terms of printed material, I always like to remind people that printed material is very much important still. Even if you're designing online material like a PDF or a document, a checklist or whatever, you really need to design it to print out, because even though people consume data online, there's still people, old people like me, who still want to print it out, and they want to be able to print it out, right? So you want to ensure that whatever you design to be consumed online, that there's a way to print it out, and that is printer friendly. But then you also have these other marketing materials that you can create, that you can either send out through the old mediums, which is through snail mail, right? You could do business cards, appointment cards, if you're physically meeting people, and have your promotion on those. Postcards, gift cards, loyalty cards. These are all marketing channels for which to communicate your particular promotion, marketing event. Service menus, retail bags, staff, t-shirts. Yes, I did say old. And then in-store graphics. If you've got in-store graphic, if you have a physical brick and mortar store, or you're going to be at a physical location, remembering about the in-store graphics is also very important, because not only do you want to communicate before your promotion and event, you want to be communicating in your promotion and your event. So if you're hosting something live, or even if it's online, you want to still have some way or graphic to let people know that it's going on right now. And so, for example, a graphic that can be done for an online event is to post it on all of your social media pages that this event is occurring right now, so that people who may have missed it, that they can see it and it'll show up in their newsfeed. So you can use that sort of in-house graphic as an example of how you can do that online. All right, so step 5 is really about putting it all together and then doing the doggone thing, right? So actually executing and delivering it, right? So it's really about summarizing what your goals are, what your budget is, what your target goals are. So I'm very specific about metrics. So we don't do anything in business just for the hell of it. At least I don't. I do it for awareness, because I want to get X number of increased traffic to my website, to my Instagram page, whatever, right? It's all numbers driven for me. If I have an event, it's because I want to have X number of people there. If it's a sale or a promotion, it's because I want to have X number of sales or people participate, right? So I put all that down in a goal sheet, right? What was my target? And then at the conclusion of the event, I take a look at how did I do, right? So that I can utilize this information in the future to help drive what's important to me, or what things I can do differently the next time I do it. Summarizing it, right? All that you want to do so that you can refer to it. If there are other people who are going to be a part of hosting your event with you, then this summary sheet really is a great communication tool to the other members of the team, so that they know what the dates are, and what it is that you're trying to do, and how you're going to communicate, and who's responsible for what. This summary sheet really does provide a great communication tool to the team, right? So you not only want to communicate to the person or the place that you're having the event, to the people you want to participate, you want to communicate to the people who are helping you host or get the event complete. All right, so that's the 5 steps in summary of what it takes for you to actually utilize the marketing planner that I'm going to give you. And let me just give you an example of what success looks like. So I had a client, and we sat down, and she wanted to have a guest speaker. And, she was actually a long-term client. And so we talked about, her marketing events over the next, 6 months. And one of these events that she wanted to have was to have a guest speaker in her salon. And she wanted to attract new clients to her business. and book appointments through that. So she wanted to not necessarily have her existing clients participate in this event. She wanted to attract new business to her event because it was a very specific type of speaker that she was going to have. She identified a budget of $600. She wanted to have 20 people attend, 20 new strangers to her event, and she wanted to sell products in about $200. And so we sat down and we used this marketing planner, like I just walked through with you, and we sat down and we walked through exactly what the idea was. What is it going to take, right? From a logistics perspective, from a marketing and communication channel perspective. We also took a look at what it was going to take from a speaker perspective, right? What did we need to deliver for the speaker in order for the speaker to be comfortable and to be able to deliver her message, right? So we sat down, we put together that plan, put together a timeline and executed according to that plan, right? We didn't hit the mark in terms of the number of attendees, but we absolutely hit the mark in terms of the budget and her future revenue. So she was able to get 11 new people to her business that had never heard of her business. We did a cold market advertising in her local community through Facebook ads, communicating the event, selling tickets to the event. She was able to get 11 tickets sold. She made revenue that paid for the Facebook ads from that. And then she was able to book 7 appointments out of that, which translated to over a year's worth. And so I just calculated if she was able to keep 5 of those appointments at a $50 every other week appointment, she would generate about $18,000 in revenue to her business just from those 5. So she didn't even convert all 7 to long-term, just 5 of those people. And if you're good at what you do in your business, once you have a live event, you should be able to convert. And she made $300 in product sales the day of the event. So all in all, this was successful. And it all started with an idea and it all started with a plan, right? So in the past, she had events where she just sort of threw the information out there. She did no cold traffic marketing. She had low turnout and it was a mild success, right? But when you actually sit down, you put together a plan, you execute to that plan. Obviously, you make adjustments and you track how you do according to that plan. I'm not going to lie to you. It's not going to tell you that it's going to be any less exhausting to host a live event, but at least you'll be able to see the fruit of your labor and you'll be able to see what the benefits of what you did. And you can utilize that information the next time you host another event like this or a promotion or offer. This stands true not only for live events, it stands true for your offers as well, right? Because I do the same thing with my clients when they get ready to do an offer, right? What is it that they want to spend in terms of ad spend? What are the goals that they want to achieve in terms of their how many people they want to take advantage of their offer, right? What is that going to look like in terms of ad spend? All of that. So really sitting down and thinking about the plan is really critical to your success. So if you want to have profit, you need to know how much you're spending. You need to know what you're doing. You need to think about all of the points associated with that offer, who you want to participate in the offer, how you're going to communicate with them, and then how you're going to communicate to your team and how you're going to execute to it. And then that's it. That's simple. All right, so of course it sounds all simple, right? But really, what's the next step for you, right? I spent, some time kind of putting this all together for you. And what I've got for you is a free planner, which really steps you through. It's a template that you can use for each step of the way. And you can document kind of what each step of the way and what your ideas are for each of the steps. You can get that free planner by going to freeplanner.sundaygardner.com. And you just put your email address in and it will send you an email with that planner. It was great. I'm going to open up the lines. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know what they are now and I'll answer any questions if you have. If you have any questions on the live, just type them in and I'll answer any questions that you may have. Okay, I'm going to hang on if you have any questions. Lolita, do you have any questions? Okay, Amber.
Well, I have a question when you're ready for me.
Yes, I'm ready.
If I have I've never done an event, what would be the best way to go as far as, I guess, the type of event to build engagement or to make sales or to, what was the
So there's
other
three
purpose?
goals that you should have when you're doing an event. It's to build awareness, it's to make money, right? To have sales,
Hmm.
or it's to get engagement. So
Okay. So of the three, if I've never done an event, I'm just starting out, what would be the best goal or the main goal I should focus on?
if you're just starting out, I would say that your first goal would be to build an email list, is to create an offer that's going to allow you to build an email list so that all of your future
Okay.
offers, you have a way to communicate that out to your future offers. So if you're new in business and you have no fans, you have no followers, you have nobody, right? It's just you and your idea. Your idea is similar to
Mhm.
an event, right? It's you've got a thought and a dream and you have no one to talk to about it. So you need to get out there and talk to it. So the first type of marketing thing that I would say for you to do is to create a free offer to obtain emails. Does that make sense?
Yes, that makes sense. And I don't want to like hog the moment here,
No, go ahead. This
but
is the time to do it. Hold on just a second.
when I did my first little,
Hold on just a second. Let me just reply to Lolita. The way to get the template is freeplanner.sundaygardner.com, and I'll include that in the link in the Facebook when I post it on Facebook. I'll have a link to that as well. Okay, Amber, what were you going to say?
when I did my first attempt, I had my little webinar training or whatever,
Mhm.
and I knew that I had to have a goal of collecting email addresses, which is what I did initially, I guess, with the funnel. But I also didn't pay for ads or anything like that. Do you think I would have had more success if I paid for ads to that? Because I had maybe like 6, 7 people sign up, but I don't know if they were really like worthwhile. Anybody who would really make good use, I guess. Maybe one or two would be able to make good use of the information, but other than that, I don't know. Do you think I would have had a better turnout with doing a paid ad, or and also to kind of piggyback on that question, what what would a good budget be for that, just to kind of gain attention?
So, and those are really great questions, Amber. So the first response I would have for when you're thinking about when you're hosting, let's say you're hosting a webinar and that's your event, right? And you want to have a good turnout for your event. And the first thing that I would say is I happen to know what your process was to get people there. So I'm just going to give you feedback based on what you did and some alternatives. Okay. Thanks, Lolita. I'm going to give you some alternatives as to what you could have done differently, right, to help with the attendance to your event. So right now, you want to think about the steps that I just went through, right? Your steps were your idea is a webinar, right? What are the benefits of the webinar and what's your goal, right? How many people did you want to attend, right? What was it that you were trying to accomplish with the communication or the creation of the webinar, right? So I'm going to ask you to come off me because I want this to be interactive.
Oh,
Okay,
okay. You want
so
me to answer?
yeah, so what did you want to, what was your goal and what were the benefits?
Well, my goal, well, obviously, it was like the free Zoom room, so I could only have 40 people. My goal was obviously to get it full. I didn't know how realistic that was, but to get the 40 people. And what was the second question?
Benefits.
The benefits, I think it was just like educational. I mean, that was the only benefit that I had to offer.
Okay.
The information of how to hire, train, and retain good employees.
Yep. Okay. So let me set the stage in terms of what's realistic versus not so realistic, right? 40 people to an event that you don't have an already a following, right? So you want to attract 40 strangers to your webinar and provide them education, right? The first thing you would have to do is really understand who it is that would benefit from that. What are the types of people that would benefit from that type of information? So you want to provide education, but to whom and to why would they want to benefit, right? So you've got to, particularly when you're educating people and you're trying to get high attendance with strangers, it's really about understanding your target. Who is it that you are trying to go after? Who is your ideal target, and how do you get in front of them? So if you're randomly posting, and I'm not saying that you were, but if people just in general, you're randomly posting this, they have no idea who you are. They have no context of who you are and why they should even listen to you. It becomes very difficult for somebody to want to give them your email and their time to sit on a webinar to listen to you, right? So I will tell you that if you want to see that type of attendance, you've got to reach a large number of people. To get 40 people in attendance, the way the metrics work is you get, particularly in a live event, about 20% of the people that actually attend a live event are of the people who registered, right? So you need to divide 40 divided by 20%, right? That tells you how many people need to register for your event. Now, if people don't even know who you are, then you've got to back into that number as well to determine how many people do you need to target in order to get them to register, then to ultimately get them to attend, right? Does that make sense? So when I got 11 people,
Yes, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, when I got 11 people to the Facebook ads, we had run ads for 3 weeks. We had run them for a period of 7 days, the first round, because we did an early bird special, and then we ran ads the second time around the week of the event. And that was, at the regular price for the event ticket. And we reached, in terms of strangers, if I don't remember the numbers off from my head, but in terms of the advertising reach, we reached multiple thousands of people to get just those numbers. So when you're talking about attendance and you're talking about strangers, you really have to hit volume, unless, of course, you're dealing with a set of people who already know you, right? If you can reach 100 people that know you intimately and know what you have to offer, your conversion rates to get people to register and attend your events are much higher because they know you. They know you, they like you, they trust you, they're gonna come to your stuff because they already know. But if it's a stranger, they don't know you. They don't know who you are, right? So you gotta give them a compelling reason why. And if it's just random education, again, I'm not trying to be flip about my words, but if it's just education, you gotta dig deep about why they wanna spend that time with you, Amber, for education purposes. Why not just go Google it, right? Like, what's their real pain point? What are they really struggling with that's going to compel them to take 30 minutes or 45 minutes out of their day to hop on your webinar? And you think it's not on demand. So you get all these components when you're thinking about live events. Is they got to remember to come on, right? Is it going to be recorded? Is there going to be a replay, right? Because people are going to forget. They're not, it's just like a physical live event, right? You send out an invitation, they say they're going to come, and then they don't come. And then, hosting one of these types of live events is the same way. So it's not necessarily, as long as you get the email address and they're your target, then you should the replay at the end and then give them a way to be able to interact with the information later on.
Okay, that's super helpful. And I think I kind of get stuck on the whole pain point thing, because all I'm like, okay, like I have this information, take it.
Yes, come in. Yes, come and get all the information that I've got. And so
right.
I will tell you that's probably the number one. But the fact that you got 5 people free, and it was because of your posting in groups and all of that, and you got 5 emails, I think that's great. I think that's something you should celebrate. I think you really should celebrate. In terms of attendance, so if you take 20% divided by, 5 people, that's how many people you get signed up, right? And how many people actually attended?
I'll say 1.5 because somebody
I
came
mean,
in like at the end.
it's amazing. Like, you should be excited. Like, one person attended. That's like, 1% of 5 people, right? Is, I mean, 10% of 5 people is less than 1 person, right? So it's a half of
Right.
a person. So you did great. Like, I think you should be really happy about that.
Okay, I'll take it.
Yes, and you should. What you really should be doing is you should now add those 5 people to your email list, and you
Oh,
should
they're
have a
there.
way to communicate with them, follow up with them, right, and make sure that you gave them the replay, and then in your email series, talk to them about what did you think about them, relate it to a pain point, and again have some sort of offer in that.
Okay, thank you so much, Sunday.
You are
I
so,
won't hijack the whole thing.
no problem. I think Margot is the only one who's left on. Did you have anything, Margot?
Not that I can think of. The
No,
the info.
you're breaking
Can you
up.
hear
Say
me?
that.
Okay, hold on. Can you hear me?
I can, yes.
Oh, okay. I was just saying I was just soaking up all the info. Good info. Learn a lot.
Okay, well, that planner is available, like I said, at the freeplanner.sunday. Well, I don't even know what it is. It's freeplanner.sundaygardener.com, and you can download it, and it's got the actual guide, and it's an online PDF, so you can fill it out and use it for your next event. If you have any questions, just reach out to me, okay? All right, you all have a great evening. Bye-bye.